In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we're expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at advertise@k98talk.org. The leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
For our own cause, we got a pen and telephone to bypass all your laws. Political correctness will replace the Bill of Rights. Support religious freedom, bless you, pray to Jesus Christ. The press is in our pockets, cause it's
all right, well, it's time for America Off the Rails. You are listening to the show live. If you're tuned in right now, it's just a couple minutes past the hour. Beautiful downtown Oklahoma City. It is Monday, October 19th, 2015. That means, ladies and gentlemen, we have survived another one. Here in just a couple minutes, I'll be joined by my usual Monday co-host, Mr. Jared Day. Now, I do have a few announcements. Of course, we want to give shout-outs to the affiliates. Gonna save some special news for the last one. So we're gonna give them to you in order. Of course, the network that started it all for me is the one that I own, the Spark Radio Network. We were then picked up by K98 Talk, both .com and .org. I was named the programming director once someone that I'm familiar with and have worked with in radio before started that particular station. Then, of course, the next one to pick us up was AMFM247.com. Now, as far as for the Spark and for K98 Talk, this show can be heard, for the moment, every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. That may be changing here in the next few weeks. I will make an announcement when we know for sure. Then, of course, AMFM247.com, where the show can be heard in 8 small terrestrial markets, as well as their Live 365 stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Then the next to pick us up was SHR Media, where the show can be heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 Eastern. After that was Red State Talk Radio, where the show can be heard every Sunday at 6 Eastern in the morning, 5 Central. So if you're an early riser, maybe you're getting ready for church, Go ahead and flip over to Red State, hang out with me for the hour, and then if you can't make it to church, flip back over to Talk. You can hang out with Richard Harden for 2 hours on Sunday morning for God's Pure Word of Faith. Then, of course, the next spot where we went was, we did SHR, Red State. Last one was Leading Edge Radio Network as far as internet-based, and that is every day, Monday through Friday at 7 Eastern, or 7 Central in the morning, so 8 Eastern. And then the next to last terrestrial today was Radio out of New Jersey, where the show can be heard every evening, Monday through Friday. Unfortunately, I'm not sure on the time. Feel free to check their schedules website. They do programming around from time to time. And then the big announcement, the thing that makes me all kinds of giddy, we have officially landed on an FCC-regulated, fully licensed call-lettered station. That would be WNJC 1360 out of Philadelphia. So while K98 Talk will always be my flagship internet-based station, we now officially have a flagship terrestrial-based station, and we will be starting there every Thursday at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. For those of you who listen here, you're going to have to tune in over there too, because it will not be a repeat of one of the shows we do here. A lot of the other shows that we do are actually, or when we rebroadcast in other places, is actually just a repeat of a previous show, because it makes life easy. But hey, this is terrestrial. We're talking potential 4.2 million folks listening. So what that means is we're going to do it right over there. So you're going to have to tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern to catch a brand new show. Now, some of them will be new content featured around other interviews that we've done before. And then as we get more familiar over there, it will actually maybe even at some point transition to a fully live broadcast. But either way, it will be a first-run show. So make sure you're tuning in to check that out. Now, that is all of our affiliates in their particular order. As we go to break to pay the first bill, want to remind you of a sponsor we've had now for a long time, and occasionally I'm a bad show host and don't mention them, and that's concealandcarry.net. They're pretty easy to find. It's the word conceal, the letter N, the word carry, then .net. When you go there, you'll find a map of all 50 United States. Click on the one you live in or one near you. Find all the materials you need for home defense, whether that be firearms, ammunition, training courses. They're all available, and there's somebody near you willing to offer them to you, and you can find all of that information there. Now that I've done all the stuff I got to do, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back to the show where I'll be joined with my good friend Jared Day.
Religious freedom, bless you, pray to Jesus Christ. The blessings in our pockets, cause there's no one free. You cannot make a move now that the NSA can see.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan, period.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy. Don't expect us to admit a mistake. We're paying off election debts to those who will take. Attorney General's lying even while
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live, and I am joined by my good friend Jared Day, who usually sits in with me on Mondays right here on America Off the Rails. And Jared, I'm actually going to let you kind of open things up. It's been a while since you've been on. I know you've had a lot going on, and we had a guest last week, so you didn't get to say much. So before we get into the couple of things that I definitely wanted to talk about today, I already did the biggest announcement, which was the WNJC thing. Why don't you let folks know what you've been up to and some of the other stuff that's been going on in your neck of the woods, because I know you've been deeply involved in helping out the Kelly Ward campaign.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on, Rick.
Not a problem.
Yeah, been working on the campaign. The end of September, I went down to the VA and met Senator Ward and another veteran, and we kind of took a tour, and we went into some of the clinics, and I ended up working with the veteran. His name is Ricky Barnes, and he has an organization called Invincible Vets, and he's organized a protest on November 9th. That's 2 days before Veterans Day. So I've been really busy working with Ricky, and in the meantime, I've gotten some mail in my P.O. box from other vets that are in a similar situation where they're being completely screwed over by the bureaucracy here, and they're not getting a response from any elected officials. Actually, Senator Ward is the only one that responded to anybody when she responded to Ricky. So I've kind of been spending half my time working with veterans the past few weeks, and that'll continue until the protests. We're trying to get some other cities to do it. Some people in Spokane, Washington are going to do it, because here in Phoenix, it's worse than any city, and it hasn't gotten better even since a year and a half ago when it initially was exposed. After we did a radio show last week, and we did a couple of articles, the news contacted Ricky, and they put him on the evening news here in Phoenix, because there's a lot going on right now. The VA is in the news almost every day. So, I'm just these vets need help, and they're not getting answers from anybody that should be. So, I was asked to help, so that's what I'm doing. I put everything else on hold for now. That's pretty much all I've been up to. And by the way, that Ricky's, if you go on Facebook, his page is Evincible Vets. It's EVINCIBLE Vets. You can just like his page, give him a little support. He works every day he goes in the street and he'll go down by the VA and he'll help veterans that are just sitting around there with no food. He'll get them food. He's a veteran himself, and he's been screwed over by the system, and he knows how the system works, so he's actually in a position to where he can really help. So that's about it. Been busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, for anybody who wants maybe more information about what it is that Ricky from Invincible Vets is trying to do, you can find the show in our archives. Our archives are available in multiple places. You can find us on Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeart, and FM Player, to name a few. So we are pretty much everywhere as far as the archives go. So if you want to find out more about that, feel free to check out last week's Monday episode, where I was joined by both Jared, and it was the double Rick show for the hour, because there was me and then the other Ricky. So basically, if you want more information or you want to hear the show, you are welcome to go back and check out the archives. Now, as far as before you really got involved in that, you were actually, didn't you travel to another state recently in regards to some of the things that you've been up to?
No, we went on a family vacation for a couple days.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I just remember you saying something about you were going to be out of state. I thought it was something to do with the campaign. I didn't realize it was because you went on vacation. Awesome. Everybody needs a break once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of breaks, I figure it'll be, this will probably take up a good portion of what we have left before we got to take the next break. For those of us who do radio, this election cycle just seems like it's the gift that can't stop giving. I mean, it's almost like Christmas in October. Have you been keeping up with the news over the last couple of days about Vice President Biden and the fact that it seems like he's kind of leaning towards throwing his hat in the ring?
Well, before I answer that, I am completely turned off. But even though it's what I am involved in, I hate U.S. politics. It's just made me sick. So I only talk about it when I have to, and if I write something, likely not about presidential candidates, but yeah, I follow it and I like the debates, and I just keep up with it. And Biden, I don't know if he's going to announce, even though they're saying he is. He may come out and say, "I'm making this announcement that I don't know if I'm going to run." He could do something that stupid.
Well, I mean, this is Biden we're talking about. But anyway, just to let you know how hopeful it is that there are certain networks that shall remain nameless, MSNBC, that are like begging for him to start running. Here's a little bit of a clip from them that I found today.
We're going to begin with breaking news that will no doubt end the race for the White House one way or the other. We'll figure out who is in and who is not. Is close to Vice President Joe Biden telling NBC News that a decision on Biden's political future is now on the immediate horizon. This announcement will end longtime speculation on whether Biden will wage a third run for the presidency and enter the 2016 race. We have a team standing by. NBC's Kristen Welker is with me here. Steve Kornacki joins us from New York, and Gabriel Sherman of New York Magazine has been writing about Biden, insisting that this campaign is already well underway. Gabe, we'll get to you in a moment. Kristen, I want to begin with you. You've been reporting over the course of the last hour, first here on MSNBC, that we will get an announcement one way or another within the next 48 hours. What are you hearing in the conversations you've been having over the last hour?
That is the expectation, that within 48 hours or sooner, we will get this decision from Vice President Biden. The question remains, what will it look like? Will this come from his surrogates? Will it come from Biden himself? And of course, the big question, what will the decision be? As you know, we've got a lot of signs over the weekend that he's actually leaning toward getting in. He's been working the phones, including calling Harold Schaitberger, who is the president of the International Association of Firefighters. They had a very serious discussion, Peter. They talked strategy. They talked fundraising. They talked about what a campaign would actually look like. However, the vice president, I am told, according to a source familiar with the conversation, also said he still has to make that final gut decision. He's getting a lot of pressure to do that before Secretary Clinton testifies before the Benghazi Committee on Thursday.
And to be very clear, right.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut it off there because they go on and give everybody their little take on it and what they think is going to happen. This is all I really have to say about whether or not Joe Biden runs. If he makes the decision to run, this is what you'll hear from me for about a week, maybe two, possibly longer. I mean, because come on, dude. We already have, like, the widest Democratic primary group ever, or, the primary group ever. And now we're about to throw possibly old geriatric white fossil in there. I mean, isn't this supposed to be the party of diversity? It looks more like the party of Geritol. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I kind of figured, because we hadn't talked in a while, but I know you've been, like, knee-deep in politics, so I honestly kind of figured you wouldn't really necessarily want to talk about that. So I do have a pretty funny clip that I want to let you listen to here in a bit, but I wanted to see if you had anything else you wanted to talk about before we change gears, because I'm probably not going to take the bottom of the hour break till a few minutes later than usual, since we got a late start, thanks to the host monkey.
No, just go ahead with it. I want to hear it.
Okay, so this is a clip that, and actually for those of you who listen on Saturdays, it'll be a repeat. Bryce and I actually played this clip on Finding Common Ground, but it was so friggin' hilarious that I just decided, since it's Monday, everybody's had, first stressful day of the week, everybody's back to work, let's unwind for a minute and listen to the craziness that is this chick right here. And I'm not going to give any other teasers other than to tell you the majority of this video will be a woman talking, and she's completely insane. That's all you're going to get from me. Here we go.
But we told you he's an Article 4 free inhabitant, so he does not have to have a license. This is on recording. Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation. You can look it up. It's in the United States Book of Codes. It is your laws you have to follow.
All right, I will do that. Want to walk you back here?
Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation.
Put the camera down for me. Is that if it records, that's fine. But I don't want you holding anything.
No weapons. No weapons. All right. No.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing.
And get out of the car?
Yes.
No, I'm not getting out of the car.
All
you
right.
can go get your superior.
Well, I am going to tow this car, and you cannot be in the vehicle while I'm towing this vehicle.
Well, if you go get your superior, he'll clarify
right
that he can be set free because he does not have to have a license.
That's not going to happen right now, young lady. So either you're going to come out of the car on your own free will, or I'm going to assist you.
I'm going to get out of the car and walk down to that house.
No, you are not free to leave right now.
Are you saying you have authority over me?
Yes, I do.
You have proven authority over me.
Yes, I do.
How did you do that?
The County of Imperial through the sheriff.
You do not have authority over a human being, over a free inhabitant.
Do you want to argue the point?
You need to go look up your laws.
I don't have to look at anything right now. What I need to do is get you out of the vehicle. If you have identification, please hand the identification over to me.
No.
Identify yourself to me.
And I'm not going to step out of the vehicle.
All right. Well, you are impeding my investigation. You are delaying me, which is a violation of the state of California.
That law only applies to U.S. citizens.
Well, where are you a citizen of?
I am not a U.S. citizen.
Well, see, that's
I am a free inhabitant. I am of the earth. I do not belong to any corporation. I do not belong to any country.
Yeah, but as long as you're in the sovereign states of the United States, you will abide by the rules and laws.
See,
and you have certain protection.
A free inhabitant is they are allowed to. They're free people. They have all of the rights of a U.S. citizen without following any of their laws.
Well, that would just be pure anarchy if that were the case.
No, because we're peaceful people. We're peaceful people. You go call them up and ask them, and they'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't know who to call.
Your superior.
Well, I am a superior to a certain extent.
So call your superior.
Well, it's going to take a couple hours or so for somebody to come down.
We'll just
and that's
call
not going
them.
to happen right now.
Well, then we're going to have to solve it some other way.
All right.
We just need to, you need to call in, tell them I'm a free inhabitant, and find out what that is.
Well, I am going to tow this vehicle, young lady, so you cannot be in this vehicle.
I understand that. So all right, then I'm going to get out of the vehicle, and I'm going to walk down to that house
No,
because you do not have authority over
not.
me. Well, then I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
No, you're not.
Why?
You're not free to leave.
Why?
As soon as I conclude the rest of my investigation, you will be free to leave. As far as I know, you have not done anything wrong at this point, but you are slowly reaching to that point
you know what?
to 148 PC.
I'll get out of the vehicle for you. I will get out of the vehicle.
All right, so I'm going to have to go ahead and cut it there because I just remembered the last couple of minutes of this is pretty filled with some language, which is fine for the other shows because they don't go over to terrestrial, but this one does occasionally, and I never know which one's going to go over to other networks. But needless to say, so basically, just to bring you up to speed, at this point, the cop does eventually get her out of the car, at which point in time he starts trying to handcuff her, basically for her safety, because she continues to act completely insane. At one point in time, she starts screaming, "This is rape," and yada, 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 and drops the F-bomb about 500,000 times, and it's just and all-around insanity. Now, for anybody who's wondering, because I actually did a little bit of research after I played this clip on Saturday, apparently there is actually such a thing as a free inhabitant, but it was part of the Articles of Confederation dated November 15th, 1977. Last time I checked, that's some pretty old stuff. And it just kind of, I mean, I don't know where this chick got the information from, but just to kind of give you an idea of what she was quoting, apparently a lot of this was from... Hang on, that's not the right thing. It pulled up something else instead. I had this whole thing that talked about free inhabitants.
She sounded like she was on Star Trek.
Kind of, sort of. And most of what it seems to talk about if you start looking up free inhabitants is basics of how to remove your private property from county tax rolls and a few other things that apparently are possible. However, there is something called a letter of intention to become a free inhabitant under Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation. All a person has to do to become a free inhabitant under Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation of November 15, 1977 is stop acting like a citizen of the United States. Wow. So apparently, this chick was actually talking about stuff that legitimately is on the internet. I don't know how legitimate it is.
Everything's true on the internet.
Well, no, I'm not saying anything about it being true. I'm just saying the fact that there's even stuff out here that talks about something called the Articles of Confederation and even the Article 4 that she was referencing is just insane to me. I mean, have we really gotten that crazy that we think all we gotta do is put something on the internet to all of a sudden decide that we're not going to be citizens of a country anymore?
Who knows? There's some...
And this is actually from some crazy group called the Organic Laws of the United States of America group, which is sounds more like a bunch of brownie-eating schmeckles, to use JD's term.
What was that?
Huh?
Was it Jim Jones people?
No.
That's different. It's called...
It's somebody by the name of Dr. Rivera. But yeah, that's just, I mean, that whole video was crazy. I mean, it gets more entertaining if you can actually listen to the rest of it. So I do encourage you to look it up on YouTube. About that point, you don't really get much video from the camera anymore because she sets it down as she's getting out of the car. But she does legitimately, while the cop is handcuffing her and doing nothing else, start screaming rape at the top of her lungs. Which just proves to me that there is a certain group of people that just completely believe they are entitled to anything and everything. And what's worse is it seems like that is the group that is now starting to drive the political conversation.
When that cop was handled that well from what you played,
Oh yeah, he stays calm and professional the entire time. So another reason why I like playing that clip, because it's one of the few times that you can actually hear a cop do absolutely nothing untoward or unnecessary in recent media coverages, and he did everything exactly the way he was supposed to. And honestly, having been in similar situations, he was more patient than I would have been. Because at some point, when she just kept refusing to obey my lawful order to get out of the car, I would have just pepper sprayed her. I'm just being honest. No, I'm not a fan of tasers. I had to take a hit from one to get certified with it. I don't like them at all. The other thing that's really bad about tasers, and I'm not going to say whether I know this from personal experience or not, but it causes every muscle in your body to tense up, which means that when the trigger is released, every muscle in your body releases. So I pray that if you ever are around anyone that gets tased, they manage to have time to go to the bathroom first.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, it's not
messy. Cool. It's a messy situation.
Which is another reason why I usually tried to avoid using them as much as possible. I mean, I'm not going to say that I've never pulled my taser or even drew a weapon, but I can honestly say that I've never actually fired at anything other than a paper target. So, I have drawn my weapon in the line of duty, but I wasn't the one that had to fire. So, you still there, or did I lose you?
No, I'm here. Checking out the organic laws. You had me piqued my interest with that.
So speaking of the debates, because I actually planned on talking to you about that last week. Didn't really have much of a chance to because of the guest that kind of popped up last week. It seemed like a great conversation. You said you had been or you hadn't been keeping up with the debates recently?
Oh yeah, I'm following everything, and I'm getting the bullet points. I'm just not. A lot of people I know, that's all they are talking about, and I just think, just for my own self, there's so much more going on that is important. I think it's I think it's great this primary season. I like having that many candidates, and I like what Trump's doing to the primaries, forcing establishment to talk about stuff that they wouldn't even bring up the whole primary season. So it is very interesting. It's one of the best primary seasons I've ever seen. It's just, it gets so, I don't know about you, does it get kind of monotonous after a while? It's like a reality show, isn't it?
Well, I
mean, the way it is.
Here's my thing, and you're not the first person that's asked me this question, but I am a political junkie from way back. So this is actually the what actually kind of keeps me going. It's one of the reasons I actually started trying to do talk shows in the first place. Because, I mean, by the time I graduated from high school, I had like 28 social science credits. I spent most electives involved in things like mock government and government classes and civics classes and everything else, because at some point I had the crazy idea that I was going to become a politician, and then life went another direction for me. So it's always been something that I have enjoyed, which probably makes me slightly insane. I'm not even going to try to hide it. But while everybody else is like, oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing about all this stuff, I'm just kind of dissecting it all and looking at it, the different comments and the different phrasings and the different things that are said, and kind of looking into how they say them and reading. I'm pretty good at reading body language usually too, so a lot of times I'll watch the debates on purpose and kind of go, oh, he's not exactly being honest. Look at that right there. Because, there's little tells that you can see when folks are not necessarily giving you the full story. Like, they'll tense up when they don't like a question, or their eyes will move in one direction or the other. And one of the key tells is usually if your eyes move to the up and to the right, you're accessing the part of your brain that is your imagination, which means you're not necessarily probably recalling facts. You're making stuff up as you go along. It's a little hard to see in the debates because it's not like they have a close-up on their eyes, but you can occasionally see that they're kind of making stuff up as they go along, which is entertaining. But I think the biggest thing for me, as far as the debates, is the fact that Bernie Sanders, anytime Bernie Sanders started talking, this is kind of who it reminded me of. Because I didn't have a chance.
How do you do, Mr. or Mrs. Fill-in name of couple? I'm your name here, but you can call me nickname. It's very nice to see you this afternoon. May I ask you, are you satisfied with your present vacuum cleaner?
Well, ours hasn't been too well lately.
May I come in and talk to you about Magic Carpet Wizard?
I suppose so. Yes, okay.
Okay, so that's basically enough of that. But anyway, for anybody who didn't recognize the voice, which if you're not a fan of the show, maybe you didn't, or maybe, I'm getting old. But that was Christopher Lloyd playing one of his iconic characters from the late 70s, early 80s. It was Jim from Taxi. And pretty much any time Bernie Sanders opened his mouth, that was one of the first things I thought of, was either this character or Doc Brown. I kept waiting for him to yell out "Great Scott" on stage. Never happened. I was a little disappointed, but I kept waiting for it.
Larry David, the Seinfeld guy.
Yeah,
he did probably the most perfect impression of Sanders. I listened to it. I don't know where he did it, but it sounded just like him. He had the yelling. I could just picture the spittle flying out of his mouth. Oh, revolution!
I mean, I don't understand how we've gotten to the point in this country where now we all of a sudden think that we have to have a government that takes care of everything that we need. That is the complete antithesis of everything this country was created for, and now we are running headlong towards basically having a government that takes care of us from cradle to grave, which is exactly what the folks in power want, because if they can get us to the point where we abdicate everything and give them full control over everything from our health care to what we eat to where we live, then all they've got to do is if anybody ever tries to step out of line at this point, we just take all the goodies away.
Yeah, slaves.
And when I bring this up, people look at me like I am insane. It's like they have no concept of thinking that their government could do those type of things to them. But these are the same people that look at the war machine and scream how terrible and evil it all is, not realizing that that's part of the same government that they want to give complete and total control of everything else to.
What about Pol Pot, Mao, Stalin, Hitler? What did they do? They all took the same path, and the last thing is to disarm the population. They made slaves out of everyone. They massacred millions. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but I'm saying, like you're saying, socialism is a transitional phase into communism. It's just a fact throughout history. And the people that welcome socialism, they must not be watching old black and white history videos or reading any books, because it's hell.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that nobody takes into account with socialism. Pure socialism and pure communism are basically the same thing. The only difference is that one gets there through legislation, the other arrives by revolution. Now, the problem that I have, and this is where I lose a lot of my liberal friends, because the first thing that I'll hear is, well, Bernie Sanders, he's not really a socialist. He's a democratic socialist. So he thinks we should be free, but he also thinks that we should regulate more closely what our government does with our money and make sure that it's primarily used to take care of our people. Okay? Sounds great on paper. It really does. I mean, you mentioned Star Trek a minute ago with Crazy Lady. Let's face it, if we could all wake up in a world where it would work the way it works on Star Trek, I'll be the first one to sign up. I'm not even going to lie. Because then I could basically go into a field that I enjoy and work in it and not have to struggle because I'll have food, clothing, housing, all of the above. So if I thought the human creature or being or whatever you want to call us was ready for that type of a government system, then hey, sign me up. But here's the problem, and this is the thing that nobody takes into account. In whatever government system any of us around the world are in, there's always haves and there's always have-nots. The difference is when you're in an actual free market capitalist society, you can actually move from being a have-not to a have, as long as you're willing to work your tail end off to get there. When you're dependent on the government for everything, and there's no upward mobility, there's no ways to get a promotion because the government decides where you live, where you work, what you eat, when you go to the doctor, what type of health care you can get, then all you basically do is you go through your life and that's it. I mean, I have to tell you, things have changed a lot for me over the last few weeks, and we'll get into that probably on another show. But one of the things that's happening with all of these changes is I've realized that I myself, even with everything that I was doing, was in a rut. And there have been some major changes that have brought me out of that in a good way. But because I have new direction and new purpose, and because all of a sudden a lot of things that I've been working my tail end off are finally starting to fall into place, I feel this new complete sense of energy. I, for the first time today in probably 6 months, did not dread a Monday going to work. I cannot remember the last time that I got up on a Monday and was like, hey, I get to go to work today. I was like, oh my God, I have to go back to work again today. There's so many other things that I would rather do, but I have to go do this. And today was completely different. I woke up, I beat my alarm clock, which never happens on a Monday. I got up, I got around, I did the few things I needed to do here. I got dressed, I was out the door 20 minutes earlier than usual. I beat the traffic to work. It was just an all-around great day. Even though Mondays typically suck and they're one of our busiest days of the week, I had a great day all day, and it's because I have a renewed sense of purpose. This is one of the things that I keep trying to make everybody understand. If you don't have any sense of purpose, you have no drive in your life. And if you keep turning everything over to your government, it's going to do away with your sense of purpose, which is going to kill the drive in your life, and therefore all you're going to do every day is wake up dreading what it is that you have to do. And that's the biggest thing. Forget all the giveaways, forget everything else. We're talking about the complete removal of the human spirit. If we continue to give control slowly but surely to the same people that are supposed to work for us, not the other way around, what you're eventually doing is basically allowing them to crush who you are and make dynamic changes to who you are. And that's not what this country was founded on. I mean, let's put everything else aside for a moment. The money, the fact that we're going broke, the fact that we're spending like crazy, the whole Democratic primary folks want to give everything away, including the kitchen sink, and we have a crazy friggin' oligarchy guy that's the front runner in the Republican Party. Put all of that aside for a second. None of that matters. What matters is if we keep telling the government we need them to take care of us, then eventually that's what they're going to do. And when they do, it's going to seem like a great thing at first, because you're going to get to basically just say, I don't have anything to worry about anymore. My house is paid for. I don't have to worry about gas money because the government's taking care of me now. And in a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you're going to hate every second of it, because you will have no reason to get up out of bed every day. And I didn't understand that as well as I do today until all of the changes that have started happening. And like I said, in the next few weeks, I will go into a lot more detail about what has been happening. One of the biggest things is in my personal life that I'm not comfortable about discussing for the moment. The other one is, of course, the fact that, I mean, come on. K98 Talk just got a big bump from Michael Loftus. JD's episode just aired the other day, and both JD and Stacy and now America Off the Rails are on WNJC. So those two things alone have become a renewed sense of purpose. And there are so many other things that are falling into place for me. It actually has finally started to click. What it truly means to be an American. It's the ability to choose. And I'm not talking about to choose whether or not you're having an abortion or what you're going to eat for lunch. I'm talking about the ability to be on a path, realize that it might not necessarily be the one that you want to be on, and the ability to make changes. That's true freedom, and we're slowly giving it away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at this point, because we did get a late start, we have got to go ahead and take the commercial break that I did not take at the bottom of the hour, and then we'll have just a couple minutes to wrap a few things up here, right here on America Off the Rails. Bear with me for just a second, because I got up on my soapbox and forgot to do what I needed to do to load that set of clips. One sec. Speaking of which, I just realized I need to update some of these because some of them don't match anymore. But either way, here we go. We will be right back here in just a couple minutes.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long lost friend.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
K98Talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members, of their families or their children, asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
This is JD.
And this is Stacy.
Join us Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Game On. Remember,
lock up the children and the old folks.
Game On, the home of liberty-conservative conservatism.
Where no one is safe, no one is spared, not even the hosts.
Oh, that was supposed to be a spin cycle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We love you anyway. Right round, baby.
Self-monitoring
right round.
Ebola radio strikes again.
Anyway.
Anybody see the host monkey? Where's the host monkey? Where's the host monkey? For God's sake, I need an antidote. Just do your rant. Let's pop out of the segment.
Has to do with
Find us on Twitter at JD and Stacy.
You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Phone calls, we got a pen and telephone to bypass all your laws. Political correctness will replace the Bill of Rights. Support religious freedom, bless you, pray to Jesus Christ. The press is in our pockets.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. We're actually down to about 6 minutes because we had to take the break late. So, just want to remind everybody of everything that's going on and the fact that for all of you who enjoy slapstick comedy political radio, keep praying that Crazy Uncle Joe does decide to throw his hat in the ring, because I can already hear the Saturday Night Lights live skits writing themselves, and it's going to make my radio show a lot more easy to do, because it's, I mean, he's like the crazy gift that just keeps giving. I mean, you know, you have such greats as buy a shotgun and fire off a warning shot. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Stand up, Chuck.
What?
Stand up, Chuck.
I forgot about that one. Wow.
It's awful.
But yeah, it's no wonder that the Obama administration's basically been treating him like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, locked up in the attic in the White House with a full straitjacket on and the whole "don't chew anybody's face off" mask, just to keep him from stepping on his own tongue. But now apparently they're about to decide to let him try to run for president again. This could be fun.
Yeah. Pundits everywhere salivating.
I know, right? The thing about it is all the pro-Bernie folks are like, oh my God, please let him run, please let him run, please let him run. Because they know that he's not going to get anything from Bernie. He's going to take everything from Hillary. So if Biden runs, there's a good chance Bernie might win the nomination, which gives us a really good shot at having socialism and oligarchy on the primary president, or the presidential stage for 2016.
Wait a minute, that'll be the first socialist running for president since 2008.
Well, no, let's be honest. Obama at least tried to hide the fact that he was a socialist. Yeah. He was even quoted in public saying that he didn't support single payer, and then behind closed doors telling everybody that he did. This is the first one that said, yeah, screw it, I'm a socialist. You're either going to like me or you're going to hate me, but I'm going to take all your stuff and I'm going to give it to everybody else, and you better enjoy it. But so there's a good shot, if things keep following the way they are, that we will have the two most poorly coiffed presidential candidates on the same debate stage at the same time at some point in the year of 2016. Let that sink in for a moment.
Idiocracy, huh? It just reeks of it. No offense to, well, actually, I don't care. Never mind.
But yeah, so I mean, it just reminds me of a meme I saw the other day, and it was so fitting for right now, because everybody's talking about the Cubs and the fact that in Back to the Future Part 2, this was the year they won the World Series, and so far it's not looking like that's going to happen, but who knows. There's this meme going around where between the last two debates, they have like Christopher Lloyd in the top picture and the dude that plays Biff, the older Biff from Back to the Future 2, and it's like, I kept waiting for Bernie Sanders to yell out "Great Scott" and for Donald Trump to call somebody a butthead.
And a pile of manure dumped on him.
All right, so since we are getting to the point where the show has got to come to a close, why don't you remind everybody of where they can find you? And even though we're not currently airing it, you are still doing a podcast, so why don't you let folks know about that too? And at some point when I get settled, I'll get you moved over here again.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, if you just put Rebooting Liberty into Spreaker, I've done some podcasts and a lot of veteran stuff. But my website is rebootingliberty.com, and all of my podcasts are there too. But no matter what state you're in, if you want to get rid of John McCain, go check out kellyward.com. Just click join. You'll get emails, updates, and you may want to help, because we got to get rid of that guy.
Please help. We already have managed to likely oust Boehner, so we got basically McCain and McConnell left, and then we may actually have a chance at legitimately trying to make some decent changes for once. So please help, please help, please help. Alright, so that is going to do it for this particular episode of America Off the Rails. I am your host, Rick Robinson. I am with you every Monday through Friday right now, live, 6 to 7 Central, 7 to 8 Eastern. Stay tuned here in just a minute. You're going to hear a replay of the Liz Harrison show. And then we have good Lord, I forgot the name of their show. Alright, hang on a second. Kill it. I can't do that to them. Real Serious Nonsense with Angie and Cole. Sorry, guys, it has been a long Monday. And then after that, you have Daniel Stafford with the Stafford Voice. And then I will be back with you live tomorrow night. And don't forget, if you're in the Philadelphia area and you're hearing my voice and you want to hear this voice on the radio, possibly when you're driving to or from your lunch break, make sure you hit WNJC 1360 at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, where I will now be on every Thursday. I want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to all of the loyal fans. Trigger, I know you're probably hanging out in the chat room. My computer has been completely crazy today, so I apologize for ignoring you. All of you that hang out in the chat room Rockstars Twitter group, want to give you a big shout out as well, because it's great hanging out and getting to know every single one of you guys, and I know that you are some of the most loyal and avid fans we have ever had, and I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do every day to help push the message of our shows and K98 Talk as we slowly move to try to take over the world. I'm just saying that's what we're doing. We're not even being secret about it anymore. We're just trying to take over the world. So far, it's kind of working. So buckle your seatbelt and hang on. All right, so back to the outro so I can get out of here. We gotta go. That's how I felt a second ago.
See you guys. I'm getting home. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.